firearms officers are now containing the vehicle and pulling the driver out. However, our dog is ready. Peggy is ready if the driver tries to run.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
So while Peggy has now prevented the suspect from escaping, the firearms officers must still safely arrest and secure him.
Stand still! Peggy! Out! Yes! Peggy! Out! Yes! Turn around! Hands above your head!
And there we have it, our bad guy has been successfully arrested. So I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you for joining us today for this demonstration. Please join me in thanking our officers and dogs who put on the display. PC Steve Ford, PC Sean Foster, PC Brad Bowman, PC Connor Shorten and PC Tom Whitman, as well as our dogs PC Titan, Piper and Peggy. As I mentioned at the start, we have a stall set up where there's a chance to meet some of our handlers, ask any questions you may have, plus check out some of our kit. Also, two of our specialist search dogs, Spaniel PD Bonnie and PD Coco, will also be stopping by. Thank you. Navy PD Piper can help us this time, and as you'll see, she likes to arrive in style. So as you saw there, our dogs are also trained in what we call a hatch deployment, so they can jump out the driver's door of the car without the handler having to get out first. So we've got a little button in the car that drops the hatch in the front, and it means a quick exit for the dogs. Piper likes to arrive in style, and it's going to demonstrate what we call a hatch deployment. Yeah, well done, Piper. So as I mentioned earlier, all of our dogs live at home with the handlers. So even though you've just seen Piper's more fierce side, and she's enjoying that. Trust me, although you've seen her more fierce side definitely there, our dogs do switch off when they're off duty, and they're very good at switching off at home and relaxing. So what we'll do now is I'll pass over to Brad, who will talk to you a little bit about some of the dogs authorities control. Although they can be used as defenders, they're also trained not to bite when a suspect complies. So as you see here, Titan's been commanded to bite the offender, but he will stop and bark at the offender if they stand still and don't pose a threat. This is what we call a standout. Well, I don't think that's what you all came here to see, is it? So I think our suspect might start running again. So this time our suspect hasn't given up. And Titan knows what to do. So once the offender's been subdued, Steve will give her a command to release the subject. So as this is a demonstration, Titan will get his toy for a job well done. But on a real instant, he will remain focused on the subject, ready to fight them and get it needed. So most of our police dogs are raised from puppies to police dogs. During their initial training, they'll be introduced to as many different environments as possible. We'll play games with them in these places and make everything fun to try and build their confidence. So you'll see that Brad encourages Piper with the tone of his voice and his praise. For the most part, this is all the encouragement the dog needs. However, as you'll see later, when the dog does really well, they're rewarded with their favourite toy. Well done, Piper. So now Piper made this look easy. So to demonstrate just how difficult it is, I'm going to ask Brad now to run around the course himself. What, Brad? You going to run it? Okay, I think Brad's up for it. Yeah, no, he bottled it there, did he? Right, round of applause for Piper. Job very well.
But Taser's good because we can hopefully deal with things nice and safely at a good distance. So the car is failing to stop at the moment. There's an aggressive person waving a baseball bat, and they're not stopping for the police car at the moment. So this is potentially quite a dangerous position. They're not stopping. It looks like the sort of thing you might see on interceptors. So they're not stopping at the moment, and we can have a plan in place, again, to try and deal with this at the nice, safe, low level. They're still not stopping. They're still going. They're not playing by the rules, are they? Oh, it looks as though the car is coming to a stop now. Oh, the person's getting out with a baseball bat, waving it in an aggressive manner. So as you can see, the taser has been deployed. And when I say deployed, it's been taken out of the holster and aimed at the subject. With taser, there's options that we have to try and deal with things at a nice low level. We don't always need to pull the trigger straight away. Oh, a knife's now been pulled. Taser has been deployed. We've seen the behavioural change and our subject has fallen to the floor, which means that the taser has been effective.
Stay there. Turn around and face the other way.
So Max is now communicating with the subject to make sure we can deal with him the safest way possible. He's retrieved a knife, so that knife is now no longer a threat. So we're going to conduct a very quick search of certain parts of the body to make sure there's no further weapons that could be a problem. And at the moment, Max is communicating with the subject to let them know what's going to happen. So the handcuffs are on, which is really good because hopefully that means that we can deal with this a bit safer. In terms of the subject's well-being, we tell them they're no longer connected to the device. So once we've got them secured in cuffs and there's no longer a threat, we break the wires and say you're no longer connected. Max has put the subject on her side so she can breathe better. And a big part of what we do now is called aftercare. We want to make sure that this person's well-being is looked after at a good level. We'll ask questions. Have you got any injuries as a result of your fall? Have you any medical conditions? Have you a pacemaker or any heart conditions, anything like that? So we need to know these things so we can provide a good level of care. We'll search them, as I mentioned, to make sure there's no weapons. We'll provide care. We'll offer that reassurance and we'll say, you are going to be okay, we're going to look after you. Because we we need to make sure that, yes, we mitigate the threat and risk, because if there's a knife, there's a high level of risk, and we get them secure, but then we go into the aftercare, because that's really important to make sure that that person who's had quite a lot of volts put through them and fallen to...
So we have checklists that we have to go through, they're non-negotiable, we have been through them already. Matt will take off for about 10 metres and then do function checks. So, for those of you that have got driving at home, that's forwards, backwards, left and right, spin left, or your right, up, down. Because we're in a place where there's lots of people, my preference as the Chief Pilot of Northamptonshire Police is that we not apply a drone here at all. However, they told me I've got a 50-metre arena, which means if I take off in the middle of the arena and that falls out the sky at 120 metres, the only person it's going to hit is me or Matt. As a member of the public, you'd be at beck and call of the Civil Aviation Authority. We are the police. If anyone wants to see the screen, because unfortunately what we would normally do, we would stream this imagery to our control room so that our commanders, anyone out on the ground can view it. So on their mobile phones that they have issued by the police, we stream to them, and in our control room, our controllers and our commanders can see it on the ground. Unfortunately, we don't have a big TV screen here on the command room, so if you want to see, please come down to the orange fence and I'll happily walk around and show you what we've got. What we're not going to show you today is thermal, and the reason behind that is that as it's quite a warm day, it's only 30.
Let's hear it for our Taser team, everybody. Next up we have our Jessup demonstration. Cadets from the police, fire and ambulance service will work together to respond to a simulated road traffic collision.
You want TikTok, YouTube? YouTube. UK Blues. I'll subscribe to that. Yeah, good.
That's okay. Dogs want to catch it.
Please dogs. That's it. That goes a long way.
So we've got a big stall in France in the show. So they're selling our giraffes.
Lovely. Oh, that's a nice thing to do. And they got a nice car, don't they? And especially certain things like American, and that would definitely be
That's great. It's really good. So I'm going to see. It's
not now, darling. So
I'm not going to
Cameron! Lights are on.
You guys been on? Have you been on the bike? Want to go on?
Cameron! Cameron! The lights are on the bike.
Baggies and do that. It's also to go to really poorly people so that they can't get into that black box. We've got a big box.
Among the first to arrive at a scene and are involved in dealing with it as they arrive. So let's give them a big cheer. Their priorities when arriving include making the area safe, controlling traffic and identifying what has happened. In today's scenario, our police officers have to consider the fact that the driver might be under the influence of substances.
I want to drive an Astra. I must have a driver's license. What kind of code base is that? Exactly. His phone on
So what you see our cadets doing now is making the scene safe, blocking it off, and communicating, making first contact with the people inside the vehicle.
Closing off the left. This is very unprofessional. Do you want to extend the... Yeah, there we go. You haven't done it properly, mate. Having to use it.
Take him away. Okay, second on the scene, here comes the ambulance, EMAS ambulance services with the EMAS cadets. Let's give them a big cheer. The ambulance service, their priority is going to be to get here. They will liaise with the officers on scene, and they're going to assess and treat the casualties as they see it. So the joint emergency services, as you can see, we've got 2 of the 3 working together already. As they arrive on scene, this is part of the training that all services will do together to make sure that when an incident occurs, they all know how to work. And here come the fire service. Let's give them a cheer. So when the fire service arrive, they'll communicate again, as the EMAS ambulance service did with the crews already on scene. They'll each get a little bit of a debrief to see what's gone on and how each can help each other.